Good morning. This is November the 21st, 2024, Thursday. And we are in BBIS first semester compulsory English class, where yesterday we were reading the essay How the Web Destroys the Quality of Students' Research Paper, written by David Rothenberg. And as I said, this is an essay. This is an argumentative essay. And you can say this is a proposal argument, because it makes a proposal to solve a problem. In another sense, this is also a problem and solution essay, because it begins with a problem and then it discusses the nature of the problem and then it offers how to solve the problem. And I said the essay begins with the context of the issue, and I'll again repeat to advise you that whenever you read an argumentative essay particularly, though this is applicable to other types of essays too, but if you are reading an argument, the context is very important to understand in the very beginning. And when I say the context is important, what I mean who is making this argument, the rhetor, right? I mean who is the reader or audience, right, to whom it is addressed. Then what is the message, right? Message, what is the writer trying to say? Then what is the occasion? And there is another word to talk about occasion. I have told you previously also, kairos. Occasion, in rhetoric, it's very good if you know these things. I don't think people will tell you in future. In rhetoric, we talk something about situation, right? Because nothing happens in a vacuum. Right now, look here. This is LSEM, this is BBIS, this is classroom, this teacher, audience. I have been authorized to teach you. I'm paid for this, my job. You have paid your fees, so you are allowed to be in my class. So here is the situation. This is called the rhetorical situation. And in that rhetorical situation, there is a word occasion or kairos. To make it simple, you can understand occasion or kairos as time. To make it even better, you can understand as kairos is a right opportunity. A right opportunity. Imagine this class was held at 10 o'clock at night. It was a night shift college. And you came to my class after your day shift job. Then you would be sleeping in my class probably, because you're tired of whole day's work, for example. Then I will say, oh, that's not the right occasion to run this class. But early morning, you take rest at home. At least I imagine you take rest at home. You have a nice sleep at home. And when you come to my class, you come fresh. So then I say, this is the right occasion to take my class. Right time. So kairos is right time to do something. Kairos simply means a very appropriate time to do something. So I said in the very beginning of the essay, you considered, and all this comes under rhetorical situation or context. Right? One more point is there, like values. What the author believes in. For example, David Rothenberg in this essay believes that every student work very hard. You should not go to Google and copy and paste. That's a value. What is a value? A value is an idea that you cherish and that you practice, that you follow, and that you believe in. Okay, so I said the essay begins with the context. Second, here look the word issue. So what is what you can understand issue as a problem that the writer is discussing. But the particular meaning of issue is something important, but on which people have divided opinion. Something important, but on which people are divided. For example, one of the politicians, I'll say, in the last 1 week, showed one kind of video on social media and accused the Prime Minister of something doing wrong. And it was very viral. And many people shared the file, right? They shared. And they also wrote, oh, our Prime Minister did wrong. I did not share because I did not agree with that content, because I thought that's a fake content. Now that guy who shared initially, he has been arrested and he is facing a cyber security case. That's an issue. Why? Because some people said the Prime Minister is culprit, he did that thing, and I said, no, he might not have done that. So when you are divided on an important topic, that becomes an issue. And please understand, one capacity that you should develop, BBA, MBA, tomorrow we will take job, is the capacity to identify issues. Who is a great manager? Who is a good manager? The first quality of a great manager is one who listens to others before he speaks. You are studying management. The first quality around the world that everybody agrees is that a successful manager is that fellow who listens to people more than he speaks. Second quality is who can identify issues before they become critical. Before they become critical. Just imagine you are academic manager of LSEM. Just imagine you are managing academy in LSEM and there is a problem in BBIS. Now, if you are a good manager, you will identify the issue before it becomes out of control so that you can solve. Move ahead. So I'll move now quickly because I'm simply revising what I did. So then we came to paragraph 1 where we saw the context or issue, right? Then we went to paragraph 2, and in paragraph 2 we saw the thesis statement, I guess. Yes, here is, for example, this sentence. My class, let me use green ink. My class had fallen victim to latest easy way of writing paper, doing research on the World Wide Web. This is the thesis. Though he presents, thank God I didn't fall back. Though he presents it as a hypothesis, for example, this is the first hypothesis. No, this one. First hypothesis This is second hypothesis. This is third hypothesis. And we also call this as working thesis. Where is attendance sheets? He has come out to collect it. We call it a working thesis. A thesis is simply an idea that you want to discuss. Anything which you believe is important. I repeat, a thesis is an idea in which you are interested, in which you see significance, therefore you want to discuss that idea with someone. Now, what is a working thesis? Working thesis is an idea with which you start your discussion, but chances are later in the discussion you will change your idea, because your hunch says the idea is fine, but you are not pretty sure. You also doubt that, oh, initially I think this idea is good, but maybe later I can find data that may encourage me to change my idea. So an idea that you might change later is called a working thesis. And every research begins with a working thesis. In future, in 7th semester, you will do research. So what did I say? Every research begins with a working thesis. For example, here is a problem. This is the problem. Right? Here is a problem. Now, whenever there is a problem, you will naturally look for solution. You look for solution. So he proposes solution 1. I should improve my questions. Then thinks, no, my questions are fine. No need to change. This hypothesis is cancelled. Then he proposes solution 2. I should give some Horlicks and Viva and Bornvita, and I should make my students do yoga and exercise early morning in the ground, make them physically fit. But he thinks, no, they are fine. Cancels this hypothesis. Then he proposes a third idea. My class is using World Wide Web. And he does not cancel this idea. Now, what he does? He tests his hypothesis. We call this hypothesis testing. This is used more in science, but even in management you will use this. Now, this is also a hypothesis, imagined idea, an idea based on my hunch. My hunch is saying that you are using Google, but I haven't any evidence. So what I do? I decide to verify this idea now. So when I say I want to cross-check this idea, I mean I want to test my hypothesis. I want to test my hypothesis. Okay. Now, how do I test my hypothesis then? Okay, I have hypothesis, fine. My hypothesis is my students' research paper is having very poor quality because my students are going to Google and they are cutting and pasting without reading carefully. That's my hunch. But I haven't any proof. I don't have any proof. So what I do? I test my hypothesis. How? how do I test my hypothesis? I test my hypothesis by gathering data or information. By gathering data or information. There is a wonderful definition of research you will love, you won't forget. Let me write it. A single sentence definition. Just one sentence definition. So easy to remember. What is research? Look here. You can note down. Research is gathering information. Research is gathering information to answer a question that solves a problem. Research is gathering information to answer a question that solves a problem. Though in our definition here, the word information comes first, the word question comes second, and the word problem comes last. But when you practically carry out research, problem comes first. For example, in this essay we are reading, did you see in the first paragraph he said, every semester in my email box essays arrive and often I could have wonderful writings. He begins with that. Then he says, but this semester was different. I saw a disturbing decline in the quality of the writing and originality of thought. Do you remember? So do you see, David Rothenberg begins by identifying a problem. The biggest problem for every research student is finding a problem. When you reach 7th semester, your supervisor will say, what is your problem? And the problem is how to find a problem. Very simple thing. A problem is a situation that may cause you money and time. I was coming to LHM this morning in my Avenger bike, and around Sanepa, I got flat tire. I stopped by the roadside. It's 6:15 early morning. I look around, any garage? No. Now I have, oh God, I'll miss my first class in BBIS. Problem. Now LHM might deduct my salary if I'm missing too many classes, money. So in real life, what is problem? Something that costs you money and time. Very simple definition. In real life, what is the problem? Something that takes your money away and takes your time away. Now I'll be pulling my bike around Sanepa area, walking gullies and gullies, finding garage. Time is wasted. Now LSCM might deduct my salary, though they don't, I imagine. Now my money is gone because I'm a part-time teacher. If I miss a class, I miss my salary, for example. Though that's not the case here, I'm imagining. So what is the problem? Any situation that takes away your money and time. That is a problem in management in your area. There is a second problem, more important. Second problem is anything that you do not understand. Anything, any idea that you do not understand. For example, yesterday evening, I made that bucket using PVC chemical, and I was using chemical for 2 hours, and the chemical had very strong smell. It was very difficult for me to work in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen. My wife was there. She began to sneeze because of the smell. But I didn't sneeze. I finished the work in 2-3 hours. By 8 o'clock in the evening, I began to feel a rash in my throat. And I told my wife, के भयो हेर्दा मलाई सास फेर्न गाह्रो भइरहेछ. She said, के भयो? I said, यहाँ त्यो बालुवा राखे जस्तो भइरहेछ, बिजाइरहेछ. Then I said, के यस्तो भयो? She said, खै बिहान त चिसो त थिएन होला, के भयो? Then I said, oh, त्यो इपोक्सी लगाएको अघिबाट त्यो इपोक्सीको गन्ध ख्याल गरिरहेको थियो. Then she says, मैले हाँच्यो आइरहेको थियो. Then I say, इपोक्सीले भएको हो कि? Look, something I do not understand. My throat is sore. I don't understand. Then I go to Google and I type the name of the packet and ask Google Gemini. I use this chemical in the last 3 hours. Now I have this problem. So tell me if it is causing. And Gemini says it is the cause. Now I understand why I have sore throat. This morning I don't have, because I asked Gemini, give me a solution. And Gemini says, drink hot water. I drank hot water. I'm fine. So second meaning of problem is something that I want to understand better. Now you ask, Divakar sir, what will happen if you don't understand? Divakar sir, why is it necessary to understand everything? Look, if yesterday I had not Googled to Gemini and asked Google what is the cause of my sore throat, and if I had not drunk hot water right at the time, maybe by this morning I will have pharyngitis. I will have pharyngitis or laryngitis, rashes in this canal. And I won't be able to speak, and I won't come to college. You will miss my class and become very happy. But the college will be sad because teacher is not there. Again, if I did not understand the cause of my sore throat, I will lose my time by not coming to college. I will lose my money by missing my class. Again, only two things. In real life, problem is something physical. A bike has flat tire. In literature, problem is more conceptual. More conceptual. Do you remember? See the word concept. C-O-N-C-E-P-T. So second definition, a problem is any idea or concept which I do not understand. And if I really don't understand, I might lose my money and time. So it is necessary to understand this idea. Did you get my point? Did I make you understand? So simple. But these things will be very useful when you carry any research. Okay. Now, I gave you the definition of research, and I wrote 3 words. I wrote problem, then I wrote question, then I wrote information. In research, the problem and question, they both come in the introduction section, in the very beginning, like here in paragraph 1 and 2. The information comes in the body section, like from 3 to 4 onwards. In this essay, information comes paragraph 3, 4, 5, etc. Now, ask a question. Divakar sir, how do we use the information to answer our question? So our question was, were my students using World Wide Web to do their paper? As a result, the quality was going down. That was the question. Now look how this answers. Look here. It's easy to spot a research paper that is based primarily on information collected from the web. Now look, this word web, if you see this word web in paragraph 3 was used in paragraph 2 in the thesis, right? This word web, writer used first in the thesis paragraph 2, where he said, no, my students had fallen victim to World Wide Web. So what I'm teaching you, the main idea of discussion paragraph develops always from the thesis statement. Develops always from the thesis statement. As this is so true about where do we stand. In paragraph 2, Lisa Davis says, how people use space is different from culture to culture, clause 1. Region to region, clause 2. Even between sexes, clause 3. Do you remember? Where do we stand? Paragraph 4, sentence number 2. Here, paragraph 2, thesis uses the word web. Again, here the word web comes. Now, this claim or this information you are bringing to test your question, to test your hypothesis. So, we read this last time. I won't go in detail here. I'm simply telling you how the paper is moving. So, paragraph 3 talks about information. Now, go to paragraph 4. Paragraph 4. Paragraph 4 brings another evidence. Paragraph 3 brought one evidence. Evidence 1, evidence 2. Paragraph 5, another evidence. Do you see? Paragraph 3, E1. Paragraph 4, E2. Paragraph 5, E3. Evidence 1, evidence 2, evidence 3. By evidence, I mean data. Ask a question to me, Divakar sir, where do we get the evidence then? Simple answer is, we get evidence in the data. We get evidence in the data. The other word for data is information. The other word for data is information. In the language of research, we don't say information. In the language of research, we say data. In ordinary life, we use the word information, but in the language of research, we don't use the word information. We call data. Okay, move ahead. Number 5. Okay. So do you see the structure? P1 context, right? P2 thesis, right? P3 evidence 1, P4 evidence 2, P5 evidence 3. Done, one section. Now come to P6. By P I mean paragraph. Now come to P6. Now in P6, the researchers does something important that you should learn. Tomorrow, when you write your research paper in 7th semester, it's very crucial. What does it do? In P6, the researcher attends to the possible objection against his argument. Attending to possible objection. Now this objection in the language of research is known as counter-argument. This objection is known as counter-argument. Now, when you attend to this objection, respond, that is known as rebuttal. When you address that objection, I am talking to you, making an argument. Now, you may have an objection. You haven't spoken yet. But I imagine, if I was her, how would I disagree? And I enter her mind. And before she speaks, I figure out, oh, she might think like that. And I answer that objection before she speaks. Then she is very happy. She says, oh, this Divakar is wonderful. He can read my mind. I was talking to him and I had this objection in my mind. Before I could talk to him, he answered it. All good speakers, all good researchers all good argument makers are mind readers. They are mind readers. Good managers are good mind readers. The better you can read people's minds, the better you can manage people. Isn't that true? Right? Okay, move ahead. We explained this yesterday, right? So, what may be the objection? One can think he is a neo-Luddite. Somebody who is a novice in technology, doesn't know technology, therefore doesn't like technology. Any answers? I won't go in detail, I've taught you yesterday. I'm simply revising to make you a clear sense of the whole essay. Now we are in paragraph 7. Now, what does writer do in paragraph 7? P7, he makes a new claim. In every paragraph he makes a claim. In every paragraph, first sentence is a claim. Now, what claim does he make? What is the claim? The claim is, look here, search engines are like slot machine. Search engines are like slot machine. Why is he talking about search engine? Because search engines are at the heart of World Wide Web. They are at the heart of World Wide Web. So he makes this claim, and then what does he do? He gives evidence to explain his claim. What is he doing? In this paragraph, he is saying that when you go to Google, you get sidetracked. When you go to Google, you might get frustrated. When you go to Google, your search may depend on like gambling, chances, right? There is no control. And then he comes to paragraph 8. Pay utmost attention, please. Note down, understand. If something is not clear, raise your hand. I'll repeat. What I am describing is, now when in paragraph 8 he says, what I am describing is, what he means is, I am describing how most students, I believe, do their research. That is what the word means. What I am describing, then he says, is the hunt and peck method. So he says, the research method that students are using these days, that can be called as hunt and peck method. Have you seen roosters in the poultry farm, or at your home if you have roosters, hens and cocks? Early morning you take them out from the chicken pen. I don't know what is the English word for that. And the roosters will come in the angan. And what they do? They walk around. You will see their head. The head goes like this, very carefully. They saucer. They pick up. There's a grain. Hunt and peck. Hunt and peck. Have you seen roosters? They do this thing up and down. And they might be making the sound also. Also, I don't know. And they see a grain. This is a metaphor. This is a metaphor. This is called analogy. This is called analogy. Now look here. What is hunt and peck? Hit or miss random method of a poor typist. So when you go to Google, you hit a search term. You might get something useful. You might not get something useful. Things depend on chance or probability. Right? You throw your query. Tomorrow is assignment. Divakar sir will get angry and you write, give me a neat summary of this essay. You might get, you might not get, right? Move ahead. Look how beautifully they explain. So now in this paragraph, let's read it because I did this yesterday, finished it. Yes. What he says? The student uses Googling or search engines. The student uses word processing software to correct spelling, grammar, punctuation. But the problem is, because of the software, his paper may look wonderful, but the student does not himself revise his paper. There is a saying, who is a bad writer? Simple answer is, those people are bad writers who write but do not revise. Even there is a saying by one scholar that if you do not revise what you write, you are not writing. Because when something comes for the first time, mostly it is a dirty thing. You know, when you go to water tap, turn on the tap, that was faucet, that was not turned on for a week. In the beginning, chances are dirty water will come. You must let the water flow. Then the clean water comes. Have you seen always on any issue, what your mind thinks first is not so useful. But let the mind think it. Come out, bring out. And you will see, after thinking 1 hour, good ideas start coming. Our mind is like faucet. Our mind, so what is necessary? That's why somebody says, you don't become a writer unless you throw away 1 million words. You may be shocked listening this. A writer says, you must write 1 million words and throw, then good words come. Right? Please understand, this is called idea generation. This is called idea generation, and this is called incubation. Our mind is like incubator. What is incubator? Incubator is a glass where you keep bacteria in laboratory setting. In 72 hours, if there is a bacteria, it grows. So what is bacteria for us? Idea. What is incubator for us? Our mind. So your mind grows ideas. Just as a laboratory grows virus, bacteria, mind grows idea. But it takes time. It takes time. So never hurry. Take time. Okay. So he talks about this thing, how technology is killing real thinking. Then he moves on to paragraph 9. Now we'll read in detail now. What the web adds to the shortcuts made possible by word processing. Look here. I like this word shortcut. Because in my life, many people say, Divakar sir, you work very hard and you are not a good fellow because you should work smart. Many people say, Divakar sir, don't work hard, work smart. And by work smart, they mean take shortcut. And I personally believe that I don't like shortcuts. No. Why I don't like shortcuts? Suppose there are you are on this road and there are 2 roads, right? One is this one and one is this one. Your destination is here. I am here. This is a difficult road. This is easy road. But I don't know which way to go. And I ask somebody. And he says, Divakar sir, you can go this way or you can go this way. But please understand that this road is difficult, this is easy. I will always follow the difficult road. Why? 20 years before, I watched the movie Caravan, directed by Eric Valli, the French director. In that movie, there is a scene in which Finlay's second son is a monastery. Eldest son dies and Finlay goes and he says, Chora gaउँ हिँड दाजु बित्यो नुन ल्याउने मान्छे भएन टिबेटबाट हामी गाउँको लिडर हो याकहरु कसले हिँडाल्ने अब तिमी यहाँ मोनास्ट्रीमा बसेर हुँदैन गाउँ हिँड. Then Finlay's son says, बुवा हजुरले मलाई 5 वर्षमा यहाँ ल्याइसियो मोनास्ट्रीमा, म बाहिर गएको छैन, म यहाँ पेन्टिङ गर्छु, थाङ्का बनाउँछु, म त्यस्तो गाह्रो काम गरेको छैन, कसरी गर्ने? देन तिनले से छोरा तिमी अब यो मोनास्ट्री छाडेर घरमा आएनौ भने हाम्रो लिडरसिप गाउँको अरू कसैले लान्छ, कर्माले लान्छ, तिमी के चाहन्छौ, हामी लिडरसिप छोडिदिने? देन द सन सेज म जान्छु तपाईँसँग। देन तिनले सेज अघि त जान्न भन्दै थियो, अब किन जान्छु भन्यौ त? देन दिस आन्सर इज आई रिभिलिङ। तिनले सन सेज बुवा मेरो गुरुले मलाई सिकाएको जीवनमा हिँड्दै जाँदाखेरि दो बाटो आयो भने मान्छेलाई सोध्नु बाटो र ती दुईटा बाटोमध्ये जुन चाहिँ बाटो गाह्रो छ, कठिन छ, त्यही बाटो हिँड्नु, सजिलो बाटो नहिँड्नु। भने बाउले सोध्छ किन त्यस्तो? सजिलो बाटो हुँदाहुँदै गाह्रो बाटो किन हिँड्न सिकाएको छोरा गुरुले? अनि छोराले भन्छ गुरुले भन्नुभएको सजिलो बाटो हिँडेर लाइफमा कहिले पनि ग्रोथ हुँदैन। लाइफमा ग्रोथ त्यति बेला हुन्छ जब तिमी गाह्रो बाटो हिँड्छौ। र तपाईसँग यो बोलिरहँदा मैले चीनलाई सम्झिरहेको छु अहिले। चाइनिज पिपल दे अलवेज चुज द डिफिकल्ट पाथ and look where they are today, right? So I'll encourage you, don't be smart, be hardworking. Be hardworking. And if you have two choices, always choose the more challenging choice. Always choose the more challenging choice. You may disagree, it's your choice. But my life, I'm 56. I'm at this point in my life, I think I'm a successful person because I always chose the difficult path. I never choose the easy path. Move ahead. Sorry for this teaching and preaching shortcuts. When students go to Google and say, Google Mama, give me solution. Shortcut, easy way. They copy and paste. The difficult way is thinking. The difficult option is thinking. Easy option is copy, paste. There is a mantra for research. What is mantra? Mantra is CTRLA. CTRLV. No. CTRLC. ALT tab. CTRLV. Select all. Copy all. Switch to your Word file. Paste all. This is the shortcut. This is the smart way of doing research. Go to Google, whatever you find, hold it, put it in your bag, steal, come to your home, pour, it's mine. This is cheating. This is cheating. This is academic dishonesty. And please understand, this is done in Nepal. I'm sorry to say on camera. But if you did this cheating in American universities, they will expel you from the college without any excuse. Even if you are found copying one paragraph in your entire research, they will cancel your degree. Take it very seriously. In academia, the biggest crime is stealing other people's ideas and presenting their ideas as your idea without acknowledging. The formal word for this is called plagiarism. What do we call it? Plagiarism or Plagiarize. Plagiarize. To plagiarize means she wrote a book, I read her book, I copied her idea in my research paper, she is my professor, I wrote the paper from copying her idea, I gave it to her, I got the degree. I nowhere mentioned that this idea came from her book. So what I'm doing? I am stealing her ideas and using them as my ideas to get credit. This is the most serious crime a student can do during their college days. And there is a very serious punishment for this in Western countries, even in Nepal. If you are caught, it's embarrassing. They treat you like a thief. They treat you like a thief. And never do that, okay? Okay, move ahead. So I hated this word shortcut. So I explained this point. To make research look into easy, another thing. See, research is never too easy. No. Eating samosa at Tip Top may be easy, I agree. Eating French fries may be easy, I agree. But eating churpi is very difficult. I don't know the English word for churpi. Cheese, hardened cheese, hardened cheese. You can eat French fries, soft. You can bite easily, swallow easily. But you know, French fries contain carcinogenic that can cause cancer. French fries contain all fat. They're so harmful. But hardened ilam cheese, hardened ilam cheese, ilam ko churpi, that is not soft. That is very hard. So what do you need? When you place churpi in your mouth, first you have to play with your tongue for 1 hour. Then the churpi slightly gets swollen. Then you make a small bite with the tongue to test if it has become soft enough to bite. And you find it's still hard. But a small chunk comes in your tongue and you see the taste. Ah, mito cha ta. Saro cha tara mito cha. Potato, kamalo cha, buni badau cha. Shortcut. Churpi, garo cha, vitamin C cha. Vitamin D छ. पोट्याटो एकछिनमा झ्याम खायो सिद्धियो. छुर्पी 1 घण्टा त खेलाएर बस्नुपर्छ मुखमा, सालिबामा, अनि मात्रै त्यो गिलो हुन्छ र अनि त्यो चाहिँ त्यसको रस आउँछ. Research is like eating hardened cheese. But it has its fruit. It has its benefit. If you can play with the cheese in your mouth for 2 hours, you will get the taste of ilam cheese. If you don't have that patience to play the cheese piece in your mouth for 2 hours, you can't taste ilam cheese. I'm sorry to have made this analogy. So research is not easy. And the problem is today students are looking only for easy things. They are not ready to take up difficult challenges. Okay, you toss a query at the Google to the machine, the laptop. Wait a few minutes, maybe microsecond, and suddenly a lot of possible sources of information appear on your screen. Now, look this line, pair in this line. Now when you go to library, instead of books that you have to check out of the library, then that you have to, yesterday I remember I focused on the word, read carefully, understand properly, then synthesize, then use excerpt. You know, when you read something, there are 4 stages. First, you understand what you read, right? Then you interpret what you read. Then you critically view what you interpreted. Then finally, you assimilate. You can say, ask me, Divakar sir, what I should do if I am reading for research. A simple question ask me. Divakar sir, I have a book. I want to do research. I know my problem. But tell me how to read this book. Then my answer will be, read your book at 4 levels. First, read quickly and understand the summary, gist, outline. Done. Do a second reading. In the second reading, try to see meanings which are not written in black and white. Because all writers write one thing and they mean another thing. They mean another thing. And you will see that in most of the times, writers don't say what they mean And writers don't mean what they say. What they say is black and white over there. Look here. This is what Rothenberg says, right? And this is what Rothenberg means. And Divakar sir wrote this red line. Because Divakar sir has a capacity to interpret. This is interpretation. This is interpretation. And this is hard. Because it requires inference. It requires reasoning. It requires thinking. It requires observation. It requires higher order thinking skills. There's a word. Higher order thinking skills. You ask me, Divakar sir, I'm 19, I'm doing my BBA, I plan to do my MBA, then I plan to do my PhD. What skills should I have? Simple answer is, you should have higher order thinking skills. I won't delve in that here right now, but higher order thinking skill means you observe something. You identify issues in that thing. You identify solutions. You identify the problem in that thing. You identify solutions for that. You look for the solutions, resources. You bring the resources. You apply the resources. You solve the problem. That's higher order thinking skill. I repeat, higher order thinking skill means I'm standing here. So first thing I do, I look at something. I look at him. Looking, observing. Then I see there's a problem. He is sleepy in my class. Observation. He is sleeping. Observation. Third, identify if there is a problem. I see he is not physically fine and he looks like, take it easy, looks like he's about to faint. I identify the problem. Now, explore the problem. I ask him, khana kha cha? He says, 2 din bhasar khana kha chaina. Exploring problem. Now, I say, तिमी भोकै छ क्लासमा तिमी अब बेहोस हुन्छ खै खानुपर्छ. I am defining problem. Now I ask, तिम्रो कसैसँग बिस्किट छ? I say, looking for resources. She says, छ sir. Then I say, कसैसँग पानी छ? Looking for resources. Then I say, बिस्किटमा देऊ ल? Asking for resources. नदेला नि त उसले माग्ने नि त. पानी दिन्छ देऊ ल? फेरि ल्याए हुन्छ ल? Asking resources. Bring resources. Now I say, पहिला पानी खाऊ, बिस्किट नखाऊ. घाँटी सुक्या होला, बिग्रिन्छ फेरि समस्या पर्छ. पहिला पानी खाऊ. How do you resources? He takes water. Then I gave biscuits. Then I say, एकछिन यहाँ यो बेन्च खाली गर ल, यहाँ सुत, एकछिन आराम गर. तिमी पढ्नु पर्दैन आज सुत. He sleeps for 30 minutes. Then I wake him up. अहिले कस्तो छ? ठिक छ? ठिक छ सर. This is higher order thinking skill. What I did? In my situation, I identified a problem. I explored the problem. I looked for resources to solve the problem. I gathered the resources to solve the problem. I knew how to apply the resources to solve the problem. And I solved the problem. These are the skills that you need to develop. Some other words for that is, there is a word called critical thinking. Have you heard this word? Have you heard this word used? Go, I won't explain, Google yourself. What is critical thinking? I'll move ahead here. Okay, I'll move ahead. So Rothenberg says that to be a good researcher, you must read, understand, synthesize, etc. Now then what he says, when you go to Google, rather than reading, if you go to Google, what do you get? You get quips, blips, pictures, short summaries. What are quips, blips? These quips, blips are 1 paragraph, 1 line, 2 paragraph that class 4 child, class 5 child, class 10 child might have uploaded, which has no intellectual value, which is easily found. Potatoes, the French fries. The quips, blips are the French fries, available easily but very harmful. Available easily but very harmful. So please, when you go to Google, you get the French fries. When you go to library, you get the ilam ko cheese. Decide what you want to eat, right? That may be downloaded magically to the dorm room, your hostel room, computer screen, because tomorrow morning, Divakar sir will ask for homework. Here is my comment. I won't go in there. You have this, maybe your printed book has this comment, right? It has? Yes, you can read at home. When I was preparing for a class, I wrote these comments at home as part of my classroom preparation. Okay. The only problem is that a paper consisting of summaries of summaries. This is so true. I am a research supervisor at the university, and often when my students give me the first draft, what do I see? The paper contains about 30 pages. They have 10 to 15 page summary. But I don't know why they are giving me the summary. As if I don't know the story. I know the story. Why would I like to read the summary? Right? So please, research is not only summarizing. Yes, you need to summarize. It's not summaries of summary. When you go to Google, this is what you get. His point is, you may disagree because Google also gives you books. For example, there is something known as, have you heard about this? Somebody tell me, if you are a researcher and if you want to use Google, where should you go? Tell me if you know. You are a researcher and you want to read standard sources. Where do you go in Google? There is something called Google Scholar. Google Scholar. Googlescholar. Go to Google and type Google Scholar. Now Google will not show you quips, blips and summaries of summary. Google will show you standard research papers from library. And when David Rutherford wrote this essay, Google Scholar was not created yet. So he doesn't know this thing. Google Scholar, right? Okay. For example, do you know that Google allows you to read books online without downloading? Do you know this thing? Google gives you an opportunity to read many books without paying money, but you can't download them. You must read online. David Rutherford did not know this thing when he wrote this essay because it was not practiced back then in 1997. Okay. The problem is bound to be, fragmented. What is fragmentation? Do you see in this essay? Paragraph 1 is properly connected to paragraph 2. 2 is properly connected to 3. 3 is properly connected to 4. Have you seen this thing? Fragment is, you write one paragraph, you write second paragraph, your reader reads the second paragraph and doesn't have any connection between the two paragraphs. That is fragment. Fragment means when there is no connection in your argument. And fragment occurs when you copy paste. When you copy paste. Remember what happens, my students bring the research to me and they sit here like this, like him. I sit here in my chair and I say, okay, let's porong. And I read the paper. They listen to me. I read aloud. Then I say, तिमीले यहाँ यो लेख्या रहेछ, माथि यो लेख्या छ, यसको कनेक्सन के हो भन त? Then their cheeks go red. They are embarrassed. Because I have caught them stealing. Then I say, if these two paragraphs had come from your mind, there will be a connection. Because remember, human mind always sees for connections in thinking. Human mind always looks for connection when you think. If you write something, there will be a connection. But if you copy one idea from this website, second idea from this website, third idea from that website, and these three websites don't know one another, then there will be fragment. Fragment is a piece that stands alone. What is fragment? Something that stands alone. Something that stands alone is a fragment. And superficial, superficial, they have no valuable idea. And to demonstrate more of a random montage. Look, what is montage? What is montage? Montage is a modern art. You have this wall, this is your room, and you hang one image here, you have another image here, and they have no connection. They have no connection. Montage is pieces that you put together which do not have an obvious connection. Like Darji ko luga, the tailor's coat, because she gave to sew a coat, and the Darji took a small piece from her cloth, one piece from his cloth, one piece from his cloth. He put all the pieces together and made a new cloth. That's montage. Though it might look strange, but that's montage, right? Sorry to have used the word Darji. Then an ability to now look. What is required in research? Mark this word. Who can do research? One with the ability to sustain an argument through 10 to 15 double space pages. Here is a word, let me write here. A research paper is a sustained argument. What do you mean by sustained argument? An argument where you make a claim and you have enough evidence to prove the claim. That's what you call sustainable development. What is sustainable development? You grow your food yourself, you sew your clothes yourself, you have your own solar panel, you have your own water. You do not destroy nature to survive. That is sustained development. What is sustained argument? You make a claim and you bring evidence and you prove the claim. That is a sustained long argument, 10 to 15. That is called a term paper. In your 7th semester, maybe you will write 50-page argument. Okay, I'll give a break here now. You take a break for 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes. It's a short break to go to washroom. Then we'll have second session.